Hey, I'm Sarah, and this is What the Fluff. This podcast is about real, unfiltered conversations, the kind you have with your ride or die friends, the ones who are your shoulder to cry on, your hype women and men, or your truth tellers who don't sugarcoat the bullshit. Some conversations are deep, some are chaotic, some are healing, and some are just really, really funny. But all of them are real, and all of them are authentic. Here, we talk about dating in today's world, healing from lessons and lived experiences, learning to choose yourself, and building a life you're actually proud of. If you're in a season of growth, figuring things out, or just trying to make sense of it all, you're in the right place. Because life is messy, growth is uncomfortable, and love is complicated. So come sit with me and let's figure this out together. This is What the Fluff. So, guys, today's episode resonates with me deeply. It's something that I just came into a realization with. This is episode 19. My standards didn't get higher, my self-respect got stronger. So, guys, I have a confession. Over the last few weeks, I've met some genuinely great guys. Not toxic, not narcissists, not walking red flags, and I still walked away. Not because they weren't enough, because they weren't for me. I think that's I think that's one of the biggest signs that I've grown. Because a year ago, I would have tried to make it work. The lie we tell ourselves. I think a lot of us confuse almost with meant to be. They're kind, funny, attractive, emotionally available, and stable. They check 90% of the boxes. So we start negotiating with ourselves over the last 10%. Maybe I can compromise. Maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe this isn't that important. But here's what I've learned. The last 10% usually contains your core values. And those should never be negotiable. Compatibility isn't measured by how many boxes someone checks, it's measured by which boxes they don't. Recently, I've realized something. I wasn't rejecting good men, I was protecting a great life. And that's the huge difference. So, this is the shift. A few days ago, I had this overwhelming realization. Oh, we have a friend! Hello, Missy Quee! Hello, Mr. Quee. Mr. Quee. I was looking for you. I've built a life I don't want to escape from. I love being a mom. I love my career. I love my podcast. I love going to the gym. I love my friendships. So I started loving the person I'm becoming. So now, when someone enters my life, they're not competing against loneliness, they're competing against peace. The competition isn't another person anymore. The competition is the peace I've already created. And that's why dating feels different now. I'm not looking for someone to complete my life. I'm looking for someone who complements it. The almost perfect. Recently, I've walked away from a few men who were almost perfect. And that and that's actually the hardest kind of person to walk away from. Not the obvious red flags, the almosts. The ones where they make you think everything is good except. You coming to join me, Mythically? No, you're not allowed on the Mythically. Can you get on the couch? Can you get on the couch? Get on the couch. Thank you. Thank you, Mythically. Everything is so good except, but that except matters. Maybe it's wanting children when you don't. Maybe it's disrespecting a boundary. Maybe it's making you feel like you need to become a different version of yourself. Those aren't little things, those are foundations. The hardest people to let go aren't the wrong ones. they're the almost right ones. My husband would never. One phrase that has completely changed how I date. My husband would never. Not because I think my future husband would be perfect. He won't be. I'll annoy the crap out of him. He'll annoy the crap out of me. We'll disagree. We'll probably argue about stupid little things like how to load a dishwasher. But my husband would never ask me to abandon my core values just to keep him. My husband would never make me feel guilty for having healthy boundaries. My husband would never make me feel like I have to shrink myself to be loved. When someone asks you to betray yourself to keep them, they're asking for a discount they don't deserve. My biggest lesson. People keep telling me, Sarah, your standards are too high. Maybe, maybe they're right. But I don't actually think my standards have changed. I think my self-respect did. Because once you build a life you're genuinely proud of, you stop handing out VIP access to anyone who knocks at the door. Self-respect makes your standards look expensive to people who benefit from your lack of boundaries. I want someone because life is even better when it's shared with the right person. And if that takes a little longer, I'm totally okay with that because I'd rather protect a life that I love than settle for a relationship that slowly teaches me how to love it less. So here's where I want to close it. So, no, I didn't become harder to love. I became harder to convince. And honestly, I think that's one of the healthiest things that ever happened to me. If you've been struggling to walk away from someone who's almost right, maybe this is your reminder that almost isn't where forever begins. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is leave a room for the person who won't make you question your peace. Until next time, guys, thanks for listening to What the Fluff. Have a great day, everybody. Bye. Say goodbye, Mr. Quee. Goodbye. Bye bye. Bye bye.